Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. So this is for chapter 5, BWU 10401 versus seminar, and the title for this chapter is on how to wow your presentation. So the content of this chapter is, there are two content of this chapter. The first one, we're going to have a look at the elements, what makes your presentation a good. And the second one is, there are the tips and the strategies on how to deliver a good presentation. So we're going to go to the first one, the elements of the good presentation. So these are the elements of the good presentation. Although these are not limited to the one listed in here, but the one listed in here are one of the most important things that you have to take note when you want to deliver good presentation. So the first one, it has to have a clear objective. So you have to know why you want to do this presentation. And it leads to the second one. Make sure your presentation is useful to your audience. Okay, we don't want to give presentation that is very bland, that is very, there's nothing for the audience. And it leads to the third one. Once you know why you want to do it and what benefits it gives to the audience, then you have to be prepared. Yeah, and you need to make your presentation as natural as you can, and to make it more attractive and to make it more fun, you can use your natural humor. Everybody must have a humor gene inside of you. Then speak naturally. Okay, try not to sound like a robot. Okay, sound like a human, because our audience is a human being as well. Okay, so if you speak like a human, then they will think that, oh, okay, we are the same kind. If you speak like a robot, then they don't feel like they belong in that presentation hall. And the last but not least, which is, I know that most presenters will try to avoid this. They will be very happy if there are no questions from the audience. Okay, but the elements of the good presentation is when we encourage the question and answer, because through that we will know whether our presentation is good, whether we have successfully delivered our points. Now we're going to have a look at the several tips and strategies on how you want to deliver your presentation brilliantly. So before your speech, you need to arrive at the venue. Okay, so it will be helpful and useful if you can arrive at the venue way ahead before your scheduled presentation. So for example, you have to give your speech at 10 a.m. in the morning. So try to arrive the venue at least 2 hours at 8 o'clock, so that you can get the feel, you can get the vibe. So maybe you come at 8 o'clock and then you go into the presentation hall, and then you will see how you will have a mental picture on the stage, on where you are going to deliver your presentation, and then you're going to have a look at the audiences and see whether it is big or it is small, and then you will be prepared for that. And then some presenters also, they will try to do the sound check as well. Yeah, so just to make sure that his or her presentation will run smoothly without any technical difficulties. Stress practice saying the following sentences aloud, stressing the bold and italicized words. Note the different meanings conveyed. Okay, so I'm sure that in your presentation, you have a write-up presentation. Then make sure that you have some statements or you have some words that you really want to convey to the audience. So those words or those statements, you need to practice to stress it out. Okay, stress to, as in you have to maybe repeat them several times, or you can use your voice intonation to make sure that the audience feel that, oh, this is important. Okay, so this is what I talked about just now. Varying the pitch in one's voice convey meaning as well. Okay, so for example, let's have a look at these words. Come here, all right? So if we use the high-pitched voice of the come here, it will sound like a command or even a threat. If we use a low-pitched voice, it will sound like a request. Okay, so using the word come here, you can try, for example. So I'm going to use a high-pitched voice. Adam, come here. Okay, so that's the high-pitched voice. So it will sound like a command, macam panggil dia terus datang. Okay, so for example, if I will use the low-pitched voice, Adam, come here. Then it will sound like a request, like I am inviting that person to come to do something. Yeah? Pre-presentation tips: make your speech interesting. Plan to make it the most interesting speech your audience has ever heard. Okay, so in your whole life, I'm very sure that you have heard a lot of speeches, a lot of presentations. Then I think by now you have a view on what good presentation is. Okay, because you as the audience, you put yourself as the audience, whether you like the speaker to have the speech interesting in this way or in that way. Okay, and then try to deliver it when you are the person giving the speech. Feel genuine, sincere appreciation for the opportunity to address your listeners. So our listeners or the audience, maybe some of them are in a specific target group. So you tell them, okay, in a way that you have to be creative in how to tell them that we are very grateful that we are invited to speak about this for the special and specific target group. So then the audience will feel very macam very, oh, the speaker is very grateful that he or she is standing in front of us. Then the audience will feel very special. Then once the audience has that feeling, that special feeling too, nanti they are more interested to learn to what we are going to deliver in our presentation. Eye contact. Okay, so these tips I don't have to elaborate because I think you have known about this. Okay, eye contact is very, very important. Even though you are not giving a speech, when you are talking to your friend, to your parents, and then to your siblings, eye contact is very important. Okay, so many of you dah tahu the benefits, the importance of the eye contact. One of it is eye contact will tell us that you are focusing on me. You are telling that fact or you are telling that information to me. So if you are telling me, for example, you ask me to do something, but your eyes are everywhere. Your eyes are on the on the TV. Your eyes are on the mobile phones. So I am not sure whether you are serious or whether you focus on the on the conversation. Okay. Spend a moment or two in front of mirror in the outfit you intend to wear. Okay, so this is the outer layer. So when a presenter walks towards the stage on where he or she is going to deliver the presentation, before the presenter opens his mouth, people or the audience or the listeners will see the outfit first, the outside of the presenter first. Okay, dia tak dengar lagi suara kita because we haven't spoken yet. Dia tak dengar lagi the content of our presentation because we haven't even begun yet. So what the people will see first is the outfit. So if we dress to impress, then surely the people, the listeners, the audience will be impressed. But if you dress very sloppy, kan, then you won't feel the confidence, and the audience will have a first impression that this guy or this girl is not up to their standard. Okay? So first impression last. So when you want to dress to impress, it doesn't have to be very branded baju-baju. Okay, branded clothes is not necessarily, it means that you can impress people with it. You can surely go to bundle shop and then you can mix and match, and then you can have a very good outfit. Okay, whatever it is, use the affordable clothing. Okay, jangan sampai you have to berhutang dengan orang, pinjam duit sana sini, mencuri, just because you want to dress to impress. Practice your movements. Your movements should be dictated by the content of your material, not just by your desire to take a stroll. This is very true, okay? Because the stage for the presentation is very large, yeah? Because usually the stage 2 is for, for people to do the performance, and the performance is in a group basis. So group 2 usually 5 to 10 people. So of course the area of the stage is very large. But when you are giving speech alone on the same stage, then you will be sorang-sorang dekat atas sana tu. So you will have a lot of space to move. Okay? Use that as an advantage, so that it's not a boring presentation. Okay? But you have to practice and you have to plan your movement. Whether, okay, for this point, I want to move to the right. For this point, I want to move to the left. Okay? So it's the same with your lecturer dekat dalam kelas. Okay? So the lecturer, usually we don't stand in front of you. Okay? Selalunya kita akan berjalan ke belakang, patah balik. Lepas tu pergi dekat aisle yang belah kanan, berjalan ke belakang, patah balik. Okay? So, lecturer pun, we plan our movement. Kita tak suka-suka je nak pergi ke belakang, nak ke depan, patah balik kanan kiri semua tu. Okay? So, usually, students who sit at the back, because they plan to sit at the back. Why? Because they think that they can avoid questions from the lecturer, and they think that they can try to main telephone because lecturers kat depan tak nampak. They think that they can try to take a nap during the lecture because they kata lecturer tak nampak, lecturer duduk kat depan saja. So the reason the lecturers plan to jalan-jalan ke belakang is for that. And you have to remember, lepas ni kalau you ada opportunities untuk kelas face to face nanti, you will see lecturers who wants to ask question, he or she will go to the back of the classroom and ask the question from the back of the classroom. Okay? Sebab dia nak kasih bagi orang yang kat belakang tu, dia macam tergegar, bangun sikit, dia macam insaf sikit. So the cure for stage fright. Okay, so stage fright ni semua orang ada. Okay, be it as a beginner punya stage of the presenters, ataupun orang yang dah lama-lama pun, orang yang dah biasa pun. Contohnya kalau macam kita punya politician kan, yang dah biasa press conference, media conference, standing in front of the important people from the whole wide world, ataupun yang lecturer yang memang tugas kita adalah speak publicly in front of the students, in front of from other staffs, from member staffs, in front of the community. Kan kita dah biasa buat, but stage fright tu is always there. Okay, so these few slides will tell us on how to reduce the stage fright. Okay, so perkataan cure tu, the cure for stage, so usually cure ni maksudnya merawat, kan, menghilangkan. But I don't believe that stage fright tu boleh hilang macam tu sahaja. But I believe that stage fright can be reduced. Yeah. So step 1, remind yourself that you prepared as well as you can. Tell yourself that the hard part is over. Okay. So basically, in the elements of presentation, preparing the presentation, preparing the content of the presentation is harder than you delivering the presentation. Okay, because preparing the content tu, you have to think about the flow, you have to think about the facts, you have to think about whether the facts are true or not, the sources are credible or not. Okay, so those are the hard part, rather than when you just deliver your presentation based on what you have prepared previously. So step 1, tell us to ourselves that is over already, the hardest part. Okay, so if I have gone through the hardest part of preparing the content presentation, then I can do the presentation. Step 2, don't judge your performance during your performance. There will be time to evaluate later, just stay in the moment. Okay, so this is very important. Don't judge your performance during your performance. Okay, so because during your performance, during your speech delivery, and then sometimes that we think that, oh my god, saya tersalah cakap lah, macam tu kan. Then you have to get it passed through cepat-cepat. Jangan macam time tu kita macam jadi caught up in that moment, macam alamak tersalah cakap, alamak macam ni aku tersalah, nanti kalau orang tanya macam tu kan. During the presentation tu, you dah ada those bad negative vibes macam tu, then believe me, your next delivery untuk presentation tu, dia akan terus jadi macam dah tak terurus. Okay, whatever you plan tu dah ke laut, because disebabkan one minor mistake that you just did tadi tu, and then dia terbawa-bawa perasaan tu. Okay, so your mental and your emotional dah terganggu. So that's why to reduce the stage fright, whatever mistake yang you rasa you dah terbuat tadi, then biar dulu. Okay, biar je dulu. Okay, sebab nanti of course habis je presentation tu, nanti barulah you fikir balik, oh my god, aku tersalah cakap tadi. Okay, take note, next time aku tak boleh cakap macam tu lagi. Macam tu. Step 3, remind yourself not to let the reaction of anyone in the audience influence your performance. Okay, so when you are delivering your presentation, okay, especially when you are giving a new information, new fact, okay, so akan ada few faces in the audience punya seating area. They will show you whether they agree or disagree with your information. Okay, so there are a lot of things on how the audience will react to your information, to your content. Okay, some people macam akan gelak-gelak-gelak, kan? So kita pun rasa, okay, they think that I am funny, they think that my joke is funny. Okay, so kita pun we feel very flattered. But then mungkin ada information that we tell them, and then they think that they disagree, ataupun they think that, this is very confusing, kan? Jadi mereka they tend to berkerut, they tend to show from their body language. Jadi when we are up there on the stage, we will see that clearly, because they are in front of us and all of them are facing us. Jadi kita boleh nampak So kita boleh nampak, bila kita nampak tu memang sebenarnya unavoidable, kita akan terganggu sikit mentally and also emotionally. So daripada situ macam, alamak aku salah cakap ke? Alamak aku macam tak betul ke fakta aku ni kan? Aku rasa aku dah research dah, buat betul-betul ni semua. Okay, so go back to the previous step tadi tu. Whatever yang macam orang dia tunjukkan that they might disagree with the information, then just leave it there. Okay, proceed with your planned presentation. Okay. Step 4. Just as you talk is about to begin, think about one aspect of your performance that is your top priority. Okay. So from all the presentation, okay, one presentation kan ada few slides, kan ada beberapa slides, 10 or 15 slides. It depends on the time slot lah for you. From there, you ada few contents that you want to deliver to your presentation, to your audience. So, to reduce your stage fright, you pick one content that you think is the top priority, that you really want to share that with your audience, and or you can pick one topic that you are most comfortable in, yang dekat dengan hati kita. So daripada situ, it will boost confidence, it will boost your self-esteem. So indirectly, it will reduce your stage fright. Remember, your best opportunity for impact is in the first 7 seconds of your speech. So get to it. So this is very important. Okay. If you have the time, you cuba tengok dekat dalam YouTube. Try to compare the presentation style of Malaysian presenters and also from non-Malaysian presenters, especially from the US and also the UK. Okay, because saya belajar dekat US dan UK, memang saya nampak dia punya presentation styles are very different than the Malaysian presenter style. They really, the UK and US presentation style, they really get to it in the first few seconds of their speech. Kalau Malaysian style, dia akan selalu macam, okay, terima kasih yang berbahagia profesor ni, doktor ni, yang berusaha, yang yang botak lah apa semua tu. Itu dah ambil masa selama 1 minit. So kita yang audience ni, kita dah cakap, bosannya. Bayangkan if we have 3 panels, 3 presenters, and all 3 presenters are giving us the same opening. Yang berusaha, yang berhormat, yang botak, yang baik, yang jahat. Semua macam tu. Okay? So it's very boring. Jadi kita akan macam, cepatlah. Macam tu. Okay? But for the US and the UK presentation style, they do that juga sebenarnya. But they don't do that the second that they get on the stage. Dia sampai je dekat stage tu, they will talk about something that will get your attention. Okay? Macam tadi tu, my presentation tadi tu kan, awal-awal ni, if you still remember lah what I said, dekat depan tu, saya menggunakan Malaysian punya presentation style. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamualaikum, good day everyone. So this is your chapter 5 BWU. So that's the first 7 seconds, dah habis dah, all gone. Students pun, korang pun dah rasa macam, okay, I know this, doktor dah tulis dah dekat depan tu chapter 5, bla 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 bla. Then what I should have done is, buka je the first one tu, I can say something else first to get your attention. For example, start je the video tu, how to make your presentation good. That is what we are going to learn in chapter 5, wow presentation. Jadi nampak tak perbezaan dia? Jadi you all rasa macam buka-buka je, terus terkejut macam, how to make a good presentation. Menarik ni. Kan daripada awal yang saya kata ni, Assalamualaikum, good evening, bismillah, semua tu. Okay, so it's very boring macam tu. So you can see now the differences on the presentation style. So it's more to the culture. Okay, jadi now you have seen the differences, you boleh try lah to adopt and to adapt. Be aware of your body language. You yourself are the most powerful visual aid of all. So use motion and gesture for maximum effect. Body language. Memang. Our body language, the presenters, and also the audience body language play an important role in the presentation punya mood. Okay, so kalau you sendiri pun body language dekat atas stage tu, kita as the presenter pun rasa macam lemau, lesu, berjalan ke kanan ke kiri tu pun macam seret-seret kasut. That tells to the audience that this presenter is not in a very good mood, that this presenter is not excited to give the presentation. So when the presenter is giving that vibe to the audience, habislah. Audience pun akan rasa macam bosan. Once you have completed your opening, pause briefly before going on. Make sure you are ready to go forward without any ums or ahs. Jadi sebenarnya ums and ahs or ahs ni kita macam dah terbiasa. Okay, so that's why practice, and that's why we have to have a write-up of our presentation on what we are going to say in each slide. Okay, so ni the word pause is very important because it gives us some time to refresh on, okay, what do I have to say in the next slide. Okay, dan pause tu juga to give us some time to tarik nafas, to breathe. Kalau kita bercakap laju sangat, kita kan habis cepat kan. So kita tak nak duduk atas stage lama-lama because we're having the stage fright tu kan. So cakap laju-laju, so the audience will hear mengah dia tu. So bila audience mengah, kita pun mengah. Okay, so I'm sure by now you mesti at least experience one presentation where you heard that the presenter tu mengah. Kan? Jadi kita pun rasa macam tak selesa dengar presentation tersebut. Keep control. No one will to question your authority when you have the floor, provided you don't question it yourself. Ini penting. Because when we are invited to be a presenter for a certain topic, to talk about a certain topic, it means that the organizer thinks that we have some sort of credibility to talk about that specific content or topic. Jadi, the audience will think that, okay, so there must be a reason why the organizer picks this presenter to talk about this specific topic. Maybe he or she is credible. Maybe he or she is an expert in that topic. So they have this mental, this mindset. The audience has already this mindset. So you presenter, don't go up there and change the mindset by saying that saya sebenarnya tak adalah pakar sangat dekat dalam bab ni, tapi bolehlah kalau nak berkongsi. Okay, that is the Malay culture. Okay, kita macam nak merendah diri, kita tak nak membanggakan diri. It is good merendahkan diri, tidak membanggakan diri, but there are times and places that we can apply that. Okay, when we are giving the presentation, it's not that we are membanggakan diri. Oh, aku ke atas ni, aku yang paling hebat. Kau jangan nak question apa yang aku cakap ni. No, don't have that attitude either. Okay, itu macam dah belagak gila, kelempang tu macam tu. Okay, you go up there, talk to yourself that I am an expert in this topic. This topic ni je. Okay, you tak payah nak kata, oh saya expert dekat dalam semua bidang. Okay, tetapi you are an expert in this specific topic. So that's why you are up here, not the people in front of you. Okay, you are alone up here to talk about this specific topic. Don't change the audience mindset. Clearly communicate the information or message of your talk. Tell stories or anecdotes about people other than yourself. Okay, so speech yang macam ni saya sangat suka, because sometimes the presenters tu, they like to talk about themselves. Dia macam sikit-sikit bagi contoh dia, sikit-sikit bagi contoh diri dia sendiri. Rasa macam, bosan lah, kau ni tak kawan dengan orang lain kau tak ada cerita orang lain macam tu lah. Okay, but there are times when the presenter tu memang he or she has to give the example from their own experience, because yalah experience tu dia tak tahu pun orang lain ada ke tak kan, jadi cerita, tapi jangan terlampau banyak sangat. Sikit-sikit, oh saya dulu pernah pergi sini, saya dulu pernah buat macam ni, dulu saya kat sana, dulu saya kat sini, semua saya je. Cubalah cerita about other people. Okay, then the audience will sense the variation in your content of your speech. Use the fewest possible number of words. Use the simplest possible words. So during presentation, when you are speaking, talking, delivering your presentation, it is not the same as when you write. Okay, dekat dalam artikel ke, when you write in your blog ke apa ke kan. So when we talk, we want to convey the message straightforward, directly to the audience. So don't beat around the bush, pusing sana menggunakan poetic lah apa semua. Okay, supaya dia punya message tu is conveyed directly to the audience. Use props of one kind or another and watch your ums and ahs. Okay, yang ums and ahs ni kita dah cover tadi tu. Use props. So props ni, you can, besides your visual aids, your presentation slides tu, so props tu, it can be like, kalau you want to show on something, you want to talk about flowers, then bring some flowers. You want to talk about plants, bring some plants. You want to talk about location, bring globes. Anything that you can bring on the stage. Okay, so two props. Tetapi it depends on the type of your presentation jugalah. Okay, kalau is the presentation in front of the very large audience kan, kalau you bawa kat depan pun nanti sekarang bukannya orang belakang-belakang boleh nampak unless there is a camera. Okay, yang akan boleh zoom at your props tu. So that is why you need to go to the venue before your presentation slot. So you will have an idea on the technical dia dekat situ tu. Okay. Okay, so this is a video by Dhananjaya Hettiaraki. So he is the world champion of public speaking 2014 competition. Can you imagine? Okay, the world champion, bukan kat Amerika ke, kat Malaysia sahaja ke, but world, the whole wide world. He entered this public speaking in 2014 competition and he won the competition. Okay, so this is a YouTube video and I will post the link to the YouTube video in the Google Classroom. Go and have a look and try to extract why he won the public speaking competition. So once you have watched the YouTube video by the winner of the World Champion Public Speaking 2014, go to this activity. So this is from Mentimeter. Okay, you can click on the link or you can use the QR code. I will also post the link of the Mentimeter link in the Google Classroom. Then you can click on it and answer the question there. Okay, so the question is related to the video, the YouTube video tadi tu. Okay, on the presentation skills. Try to watch and try to extract the presentation skills that he has shown in that video. Things that you should never do when giving a presentation. So here, listed here are a few points that you can consider. What not to do when giving a presentation, but there are a wide array of the don'ts. Don't do that, don't do this. Okay, so from your whole your own experience, then you can try to extract. You know already by now because you are already the audience. So you know that, okay, I don't like when presenter or speaker do this, so I'm not going to do the same thing. So the first one is reads the presentation. Do not read the presentation. Then it will be very monotonous, okay? It will be very boring. Same with this point. Has no knowledge of the subject matter. Okay, so the organizer is inviting you to talk about that topic because you have the knowledge on that. If you think that you have no prior knowledge on that specific topic, then you have to decline your presentation. Okay, but dalam kelas kita, of course lah, there will be times when the lecturer will ask the students to divide yourself among groups. Okay, then this group, you talk about this topic 1, topic 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe some of you are not really familiar with that topic. So, you have no knowledge, but you cannot reject sebab this is from your lecturer. Okay, so what you can do is, then you have to do a lot of research for that. Be knowledgeable on that specific topic. Okay, so takes too much time. Jangan nak bercakap panjang sangat yang melirik-lirik. Remember, one of the tips is to use the simplest word. Don't speak too fast or don't speak too slow. Slow tu as in lambat sangat dan tak kuat. Okay, so dia akan jadi macam alah bosannya, alah benda ni dia cakap apa aku tak dengar. Macam tu. Has bad slides. Teruknya slide, tak cantiknya, bosannya, tak ada apa-apa langsung, memang tulis ayat je, tak ada gambar lah, apalah. Very bad. Okay, so these are the things that you have to avoid when you are the presenter. So this is the second activity. Okay, so this is not, if you still remember for your project assignment that you have to do this video assignment. Okay, so you were split into 5 groups, and each group you made a video assignment on the STEM educational video. Okay, so if you can have a look at this poster. So this is the poster by the Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi di bawah Jabatan Pendidikan Tinggi. They are organizing this competition. It calls E-Sulam Innovate 2020. Okay, so I am planning to submit your video for this category, Project E-Sulam Terbaik. Okay, so one of the elements of the submission for this category is the students have to give feedback. Okay, feedback apa? So this is the question. Sejauh manakah projek video STEM ini telah meningkatkan pencapaian anda sebagai pelajar dari aspek pengetahuan, kemahiran dan sikap? Okay, so I want you to go to Padlet. Okay, use this QR code or you can use this Padlet link. I will post the link in the Google Classroom. And then in that Padlet, saya dah bahagikan ada 5 columns. Group 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So each group members of each group, please jawab soalan ni. Sejauh manakah projek video STEM ini telah meningkatkan pencapaian anda sebagai pelajar dari aspek pengetahuan, kemahiran dan sikap? Okey. So kalau menang dapat duit tau. Okey. Jadi cubalah, kita cuba dahulu nak masukkan dekat dalam pertandingan ni. Okay, so deadline is 1 week until next week, 6 January. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much, and I hope you benefit something from my presentation today. Thank you.